Let's dive into what the Season 19 Episode 10 trailer is silently screaming at us. The moment it begins, there's a heavy tension that the show hasn't used in a long time, almost like the calm before a storm that none of us are ready for. The first thing that stands out is the sudden shift in the family's expressions. Lou looks shaken, Amy seems confused yet worried, and Lisa appears as if she already knows something terrible is about to happen. And what's even more alarming is Jack's complete absence from the early shots. This is not something Heartland does without a reason, and whenever Jack is missing, it's always a sign that something serious is brewing. The most unsettling detail is how the trailer hints at a moment of chaos on the ranch. There's a sense of urgency in Amy's voice when she says, "We need to find him!" The line is quick, almost whispered, but it's enough to send a chill down your spine. Who is she talking about? The trailer doesn't confirm it directly, but when the next shot cuts to Nathan and Tim exchanging tense looks, it becomes clearer that this is not about just anyone. It's about Jack. And if the trailer is hinting at Jack going missing, the stakes immediately skyrocket. Throughout the entire series, Jack has been the heart and backbone of Heartland, so the idea that something might have happened to him instantly makes this finale feel heavier than anything we've seen all season. The next moment that stands out is the shot of Amy standing by the fence, looking out into the distance with a terrified expression. It's the kind of look she only gets when something feels truly wrong, and considering everything the family has already been through this season, from ranch troubles to emotional tensions, it feels like the writers are preparing for one final blow before closing the chapter on Season 19. What makes this even more intense is that the trailer uses complete silence right after showing Amy's reaction. No music, no dialogue, just silence. That choice alone tells us that whatever is happening is big enough to steal the breath right out of the room. And then there's Nathan. His presence in this trailer is unlike any of his scenes this season. He looks determined, almost angry, as if he is ready to jump into action without a second thought. There's a quick shot where he grabs his jacket and storms out of the house. The look in his eyes says everything. He thinks someone he cares about is in danger. Considering how close he has grown to the family, especially to Amy, it wouldn't be surprising if he becomes one of the first people to go looking for Jack. And honestly, the idea of Nathan stepping up during a crisis like this is something fans have been waiting to see. It could very well be the moment that defines his place in the Heartland family. But the trailer doesn't stop there. It shows Lisa's face for just a brief moment, but that moment says more than words ever could. She looks heartbroken, almost frozen in fear, like she is trying to hold herself together but barely managing to. Lisa has always been strong, graceful, and composed, but we rarely see her this vulnerable. This alone makes fans wonder if she knows something the others don't. Maybe she's the last person who saw Jack before he disappeared. Maybe she sensed something was wrong and tried to warn him. Or perhaps the trailer is setting her up to face a painful moment, one that might change her relationship with the family forever. And then comes the moment that everyone is talking about. The distant shot of a broken fence and footsteps leading out toward the hills. It's one of the most unsettling images in the entire trailer. Heartland doesn't show things like this unless it means something serious. The fence isn't just broken. It looks like something forced its way through. Whether it's an animal, a person, or a sign of a struggle, the trailer intentionally leaves it unexplained. And that mystery is what makes this scene so powerful. It forces us to question everything. Did Jack go after someone? Did something happen to him? Did he leave in a rush, or was he taken by surprise? Every shot, every cut, every second of this trailer is designed to build suspense around Jack's sudden disappearance. And when a show like Heartland chooses to focus on Jack in this way, it's never by accident. The writers know how deeply fans care about him, and that is exactly why this finale has the potential to be one of the most emotional episodes of the entire series. The question is no longer if the finale will make us cry, it's how much. And judging by the tone of the trailer, we're about to be hit with a wave of emotions we won't forget anytime soon. As the trailer continues, the focus shifts toward Amy, and this is where the emotional weight of the finale becomes almost overwhelming. For years, Amy has been the rock of the Heartland family, the one who stays calm, the one who reassures everyone, the one who finds a way to bring hope back into the darkest situations. But in this trailer, for the first time in a long while, we see Amy on the verge of breaking. Her voice trembles, her eyes fill with fear, and she walks with the kind of heaviness that only comes when someone you love might truly be in danger. And that is exactly what makes this trailer so terrifying. If Amy is scared, something is seriously wrong. One of the most intense moments in this section of the trailer is when Amy stands outside the barn, gripping the edge of the door as if she's trying to steady herself. Her breathing is uneven, and there's a look of disbelief on her face, as if she's just heard the worst possible news and her mind can't process it yet. The trailer only shows this moment for a second, but it's enough to tell us that Amy is pushed to her emotional limits. And when Amy reaches that point, it always means the situation is far more dangerous than the family initially assumed. Another detail that the trailer tries to hide, but not very well, is the way the camera lingers on the empty ranch yard. Empty corrals, an open gate, and the eerie quietness of the ranch all create an unsettling environment that feels completely unnatural for Heartland. The ranch has always been full of movement: horses, people, trucks, dogs, life. But in this trailer, it almost feels abandoned, and that emptiness creates an emotional pressure that's impossible to ignore. It's like the entire land is holding its breath. And if the ranch is quiet, it usually means something has gone very wrong beneath the surface. But the most heartbreaking moment comes when Amy, in a fragile but determined voice, says, "We're running out of time." This one line changes everything. It takes the situation from a simple mystery to a full-blown crisis. Time running out for what? For who? The trailer doesn't answer the question, but the panic in Amy's tone suggests that they're dealing with a life-or-death situation. And knowing Heartland, they would never write a line like that unless the stakes are higher than anything this family has faced in a long time. Then, there's a brief but crucial shot of Lindy. She's not crying, but she looks confused, scared, and she keeps asking, "Where's Grandpa Jack?" That one question alone is powerful enough to break any Heartland fan's heart. Lindy has grown incredibly close to Jack throughout the seasons, and the bond they share is one of the most beautiful relationships on the show. So hearing her worried voice in the trailer instantly raises the emotional stakes. If Lindy feels something is wrong, then it's not just the adults reacting to trouble. The kids are sensing it too. And that's when you know the finale is going to hit us with a wave of emotions. One of the most overlooked details in the trailer is the shot of the old pickup truck not being in its usual spot. Fans who pay close attention will recognize that Jack rarely leaves the property without it. So the empty parking space is more than just an aesthetic choice. It's a clue. A clue that Jack left in a rush. A clue that he may not have had time to tell anyone where he was going. A clue that something pulled him away unexpectedly. And this aligns perfectly with the tension we see in Amy and Lou's reactions. Something, or someone, drew Jack out into the unknown, and the family is now left scrambling to piece together the mystery before it's too late. But what makes this trailer even more haunting is the idea that these clues were intentionally placed. Every single shot feels carefully constructed to create the sense that Jack is somewhere out there, possibly hurt, possibly alone, and the family is now in a race against time to find him. And what amplifies this fear is the fact that Jack is not a young man anymore. He's tough, strong, and stubborn, but he's not invincible. And the thought of him struggling in the wilderness or facing danger without anyone by his side is enough to make any viewer's heart race. The trailer goes on to show a tense moment between Lou and Amy. Lou looks like she's holding back tears, while Amy tries not to lose hope. They don't say much, but the silence between them speaks louder than words ever could. It's the kind of silence that comes when you're trying not to imagine the worst. This quiet moment hints at a growing fear within the family, a fear that something irreversible may have happened. Everything about this section of the trailer prepares us for an emotional storm. The worry in the characters' eyes, the empty ranch, the missing truck, the quiet panic, every element works together to create a sense of dread that hangs in the air like a thick fog. And as fans, we can feel that something tragic might be waiting for us in the finale. As the trailer progresses, the spotlight shifts to Lou and Nathan, and this is where the suspense reaches a whole new level. Lou has always been the planner, the one who keeps her emotions in check until she absolutely can't anymore. But in this trailer, she is visibly shaken. Her voice cracks when she says, "We can't just wait around." That one line immediately sets the tone for the rest of the sequence. Lou is terrified, and her fear pushes the entire family into action. And when Lou starts frantically gathering maps, calling people, and demanding updates, you know something is truly, deeply wrong. The trailer gives us a glimpse of Lou pacing near the porch, her arms folded tightly as if she's trying to hold herself together. She stares out toward the far fields with glassy eyes, and in that moment, we can see every thought running through her mind, every worst-case scenario she's desperately trying to ignore. Lou is not someone who panics easily, so seeing her this shaken tells us that Jack's disappearance is far more serious than the family initially believed. Her fear becomes the emotional heartbeat of this section, grounding the panic in something deeply human. Then we shift to Nathan, perhaps the most unpredictable character in this entire situation. The trailer shows him in a way we haven't seen before. Gone is the calm, relaxed Nathan we've watched throughout the season. Instead, he looks furious, determined, and ready to charge into danger if that's what it takes. There's a moment where he slams the truck door shut with so much force that it echoes across the scene. His jaw is clenched, his eyes are sharp, and he's clearly preparing himself for the worst. And this is exactly the side of Nathan fans have been waiting for. For months, we've seen his softer moments, his romantic moments, and his thoughtful moments, but now the trailer shows us Nathan in full protector mode. The tension between Lou and Nathan might be one of the most fascinating developments teased in the trailer. While Lou is desperate and emotional, Nathan is laser-focused and ready to take control. When he says, "We're wasting time," you can feel the urgency in his voice. It's not anger directed at the family, it's the anger of someone who refuses to lose someone he cares about. And whether he admits it out loud or not, Jack means a lot to him. After all, Jack has been one of the few people who truly gave him a chance, who treated him like part of the family. So now, with Jack missing, Nathan seems determined to repay that trust in the only way he knows, by doing everything in his power to bring him home safely. What truly sets this section apart is the sense of movement. The trailer doesn't give us the full picture, but we glimpse enough to know that Nathan and Lou begin leading a coordinated search. The atmosphere shifts from fear to action. There are shots of them checking the riverbank, scanning the tree line, and shouting Jack's name into the wind. These aren't dramatic, action-packed moments. They're raw, emotional scenes filled with desperation and hope. Nathan keeps his distance when Lou needs space, but he stays close enough to catch her if she breaks. This unspoken understanding between them adds a layer of emotional depth the finale has been hinting at for weeks. But one of the most chilling moments comes when Nathan pauses suddenly, staring at something on the ground. The trailer doesn't show what he sees, it cuts away instantly, but his expression tells us everything we need to know. His face drains of color, his eyes widen, and his breath catches. This is not the reaction of someone finding a simple clue. This is the reaction of someone who finds something that raises the stakes even higher, something that makes him fear Jack might be hurt. And the fact that the trailer hides the actual object only adds to the suspense. It could be Jack's hat. It could be a tool he dropped. It could be a sign of a struggle. The trailer wants us to feel the fear Nathan feels, and it works. Meanwhile, Lou's emotional unraveling continues. There's a heartbreaking moment where she whispers, "This can't be happening again." That one line hints at the trauma the family has endured over the years. Losing Ty, almost losing Tim, and now facing the possibility of something happening to Jack. Lou is carrying the weight of every past loss, and the thought of losing Jack too is simply unbearable. The trailer doesn't show anyone comforting her, but that silence makes the moment even more powerful. In that silence, we see a daughter terrified of losing the man who raised her. Another emotional highlight in this section comes when the family gathers in front of the house, and Nathan stands slightly apart, staring out at the horizon. The sun is setting behind him, painting the landscape in a dark, ominous glow. The colors, the lighting, the body language, everything about this moment screams uncertainty and fear. The trailer intentionally lingers on this shot longer than the others, almost as if it wants us to absorb the heaviness of the situation alongside the characters. But perhaps the most gripping moment comes near the end of this section. Lou looking directly at Nathan and saying, "If you know something, tell me." It's one of the most intense emotional exchanges teased in the entire trailer. Lou is desperate. Nathan hesitates. And that hesitation tells us that he does know something he is afraid to say out loud. The trailer cuts away before he answers, leaving fans in complete suspense. What is Nathan hiding? What did he find? And why is he afraid to tell Lou? This is the kind of tension Heartland hasn't explored in years. The season 19 finale isn't just building toward an emotional climax, it's building toward a moment that could redefine relationships, deepen bonds, and change the direction of the series. The interplay between Lou's fear and Nathan's determination creates a storm of emotion that leaves fans breathless long before the episode even airs. As the trailer moves into its most emotional stretch, the focus settles on Lisa, and this is where the tone shifts into something far more heartbreaking. Lisa has always been the quiet strength of the family, the one who holds the pieces together even when no one notices. But in this trailer, the calm, composed Lisa we know is gone. Instead, we see a woman carrying a fear so deep that she can barely speak. And the trailer doesn't just hint at her fear, it reveals it in the smallest, most painful details. One of the most striking moments is when Lisa stands alone in the living room, clutching something in her hands. The trailer doesn't show exactly what it is, but based on her emotional reaction, it's something connected to Jack. Her hands tremble as she stares at it, her breathing becomes uneven, and she blinks rapidly as if she's fighting back tears she can't control. It's a powerful moment because Lisa is rarely this vulnerable. She normally puts on a brave face for everyone else, especially when Jack is involved. So the fact that she can't hide her fear anymore tells us that she already senses this situation is far more dangerous than the others realize. There's another moment in the trailer that hits even harder when Lisa says, "He told me something, and I didn't listen." That single line adds a whole new layer of mystery and heartbreak. What did Jack tell her? Was it a warning? A concern? Something he was planning to do? The trailer doesn't let us hear the rest of her sentence, which only makes the moment more agonizing for fans. This unfinished confession feels like the key to the entire finale, hinting that Lisa might know something the rest of the family doesn't. And the guilt in her voice suggests that the secret she's carrying might be the missing puzzle piece everyone is searching for. A subtle but powerful moment in the trailer shows Lisa sitting on Jack's chair, running her hand over the worn wooden armrest. This is Jack's spot, the place where he rests after a long day, where he tells stories, where he shares his wisdom with anyone who will listen. Seeing Lisa sit there with tears in her eyes is one of the most emotional shots in the entire trailer. It's almost as if she's trying to feel his presence, trying to hold on to something familiar, while everything around her feels like it's slipping away. The camera lingers on her hand for just a second longer than expected, highlighting the emptiness left behind in Jack's absence. The trailer then cuts to a moment between Amy and Lisa, a quiet, fragile exchange that reveals just how close to breaking both women really are. Amy gently places a hand on Lisa's shoulder, and Lisa closes her eyes as if the simple touch nearly shatters her. She whispers, "He always comes home." It's a line filled with hope and denial at the same time. Lisa is clinging to the belief that Jack will walk through the door any minute, because the alternative is too painful to even imagine. But what makes this moment truly heartbreaking is the way Amy looks at her. Not with certainty, but with fear. Amy wants to believe the same thing, but the uncertainty in her eyes tells us she's scared that this time might be different. One of the most chilling moments in this section of the trailer is when Lisa finally breaks down and admits, "I should have stopped him." This confession opens the door to countless theories. What was Jack planning to do? Why did he go alone? Did Lisa know something was wrong and fail to stop him? All of these questions swirl in the air as the trailer intentionally cuts to black immediately after her line. The timing couldn't be more deliberate. The sudden silence forces viewers to sit with Lisa's guilt and the dread that something irreversible may have happened. But the emotional weight doesn't stop there. The trailer goes on to show Lisa stepping outside the ranch house, staring out into the twilight with tears streaming down her face. The wind blows her hair across her cheeks, and she looks completely defeated. It's rare to see Lisa this broken, and that's exactly why this moment lands so powerfully. She whispers Jack's name, barely audible, but filled with so much love and fear that it instantly becomes one of the most heartbreaking moments of the entire trailer. And then comes the most unsettling shot in this section, Lisa turning abruptly when she hears something in the distance. The camera zooms in on her reaction, and the fear on her face tells us that whatever she heard is not comforting, it's alarming. The trailer refuses to show us what she sees. Instead, it leaves us with her trembling expression and a sense that something is coming. Something none of them are prepared for. It's a brilliant move by the trailer editors because it keeps viewers guessing while amplifying the suspense to a level Heartland rarely reaches. What makes this section so incredibly emotional is how it reveals Lisa's internal struggle. She's battling guilt, fear, and the haunting memory of her last conversation with Jack. She's replaying his words, questioning her choices, and fearing that she may have missed a warning sign that could have prevented all of this. And that emotional conflict adds depth and gravity to the entire finale. It's no longer just a mystery, it's a deeply personal story about love, regret, and the desperate hope of bringing someone home. By the time this section of the trailer ends, viewers are left with a heavy sense of dread. Lisa's fear becomes our fear, her guilt becomes our question, and the unresolved tension surrounding Jack's last moments before disappearing becomes the emotional anchor of the entire finale. As the trailer nears its end, the tone shifts into something even darker and more intense. The music fades into a deep, echoing hum, the kind of sound that makes your stomach twist because you know the biggest shock is coming. Every character looks drained, exhausted, and emotionally stretched beyond their limit. The ranch, normally bright, warm, full of life, suddenly feels cold and unwelcoming. It's as if the entire land itself knows that something terrible is about to be revealed, and in these final moments, the trailer delivers its most devastating and suspenseful clues about what happened to Jack. The first sign comes when Tim storms into the barn, his voice sharp and panicked as he demands, "Has anyone heard anything?" His tone isn't angry, it's frightened. Tim rarely shows fear, but here, he sounds like someone who's about to lose control. His hands shake as he grabs a halter, and he doesn't even seem to know what he's looking for. It's the kind of moment that makes fans realize just how much Jack means to him. Beneath all the arguments, the stubbornness, and the years of tension, Tim cares deeply about Jack. And now, with Jack missing, the weight of that fear is written all over his face. The trailer then hits us with one of its most haunting visuals, a single flashlight beam cutting through the darkness as the family continues the search long after sunset. The beam shakes as someone walks through tall grass, calling Jack's name into the night. The voice cracks, filled with desperation, almost as if they're afraid of what they might find. The darkness feels endless, heavy, and unforgiving. And seeing the family searching in the pitch-black night drives home just how dangerous the situation has become. They're not just worried, they're terrified.